Let's understand a few important terminologies of lenses. Centers of curvature. If this is a convex lens, this part is coming from one sphere. This one is coming from another sphere. That means what? If I have a glass here, I am cutting this and I am cutting this from another glass, bringing that here and joining it. See, I got a convex lens. I hope it's clear. So, they are a part of two different spheres. It can be same radius or different radius. So, there are two centers of curvature. So, how will you define this? A lens is bound by two spherical surfaces. Each of these surfaces are a part of a sphere through which refraction is taking place. Each of these refracting surfaces are a part of a sphere. The centers of those spheres are called centers of curvature. How many centers of curvature does a mirror have? 1. How many centers of curvature does a lens have? 2. Why? Because it has two spherical surfaces. So, a lens is bound by two spherical surfaces. Each of these refracting surfaces, this is refracting. Why? Because it's glass. So, if light enters this, it's coming out from here. Refraction is taking place. Whereas in mirrors, reflection is taking place. So, be very careful. The centers of those spheres of which the refracting surfaces are a part, or the refracting parts. So, the centers of those spheres of which the refracting surfaces form a part, they are a part of some sphere, is called the centers of curvature. Same thing with radius of curvature. Instead of center, remove and put radius. Radius of curvature is the radius of those spheres of which the two refracting surfaces form a part. Now, concave lens, how will it look? Same type. So, this one will have one center of curvature and this one will have another center of curvature. The line passing through the two centers of curvature of a lens is called the principal axis. This brings us to the third point, principal axis. Line passing through the two centers of curvature is called the principal axis. Same thing over here. Next point, optic center. So, if you have a convex lens, the center of that lens is called the optic center. Same thing with concave. So, you can just say the central point of the lens or the center point of the lens is called the optic center. Please put a note on the optic center. A ray passing through the optic center goes undeviated. A ray passing through the optic center goes undeviated. That means even though it's going from air to glass, it wants to deviate, but it doesn't deviate. It goes undeviated. Just like for normal incidence, it goes undeviated. In lenses, a ray passing through an optic center goes undeviated. Next, aperture. How do we define aperture? So, same like how in mirrors, this maximum line is called the diameter of the lens. So, the effective diameter of whom? Of the circular outline of the spherical lens is called aperture. Just like how in mirrors we considered mirrors whose radius of curvature is much larger than the aperture, or aperture is much lesser than the radius of curvature. Just like that, here also we will be considering cases where the aperture is much lesser than the radius of curvature. Such lenses whose aperture is much lesser than the radius of curvature are called thin lenses. So, for all our cases what we study, we will be studying only thin lenses. Next, focal point or focus. If I have a convex lens here, so first we draw the principal axis. Always remember the optic center will be on the principal axis itself. This is like the aperture type. Draw a dotted line joining these 2 points. Okay, this we just draw for simplicity to show the ray is bending over there. Okay. So now, what is a focal point? If we have a set of parallel rays incident on a convex lens, after refraction, so it's going from air to glass, glass to air. So refraction is taking place. After refraction, the rays meet at a point on the principal axis. This point is called the focus. So this definition sounded easy because we just learnt a similar thing in the case of mirrors. But what's the difference between this and that? Do you remember in convex mirror, the rays were diverging. See here, they all are converging, which is why a convex lens is called a converging lens. They all are meeting at a point. Another point to note in lenses is, the same lens, it's glass, correct? So, rays can enter from this side or this side. Let us take parallel rays entering from this side. If parallel rays are entering from this side, now they will meet here on the principal axis. So there is one more focus, which is why lenses have two focal points. Mirrors have only one, lenses have two, because it can show refraction from this side as well as this side. So there is one more focus point here. Let's call this F1 and let's call this F2. I hope it's clear why we have two focal points. Coming to the case of concave mirrors, coming to the case of concave lenses, first let's draw a concave lens. See, how to exactly draw a concave lens and convex lens, I will teach you next when we learn ray diagrams in detail. That's the next topic. So now just roughly draw, see, understand this. So we have a principal axis, we have an optic center there, we have a dotted line here to show refraction. If there is a set of rays parallel and incident on it, then they diverge away. If there is someone standing here and try to observe these rays, that person will think that these rays are coming from a point behind. This becomes the focus. So, what is happening? The rays are diverging one point. That's why concave lenses are called diverging lenses. Now let's define it. When a set of parallel rays are incident on a concave lens, after refraction, they appear to come from a point. This point is called the focal point of the lens. Just like how light can enter this side as well as this side for convex lens, same thing, light can enter this side or this side for concave lens, which is why this one also has two focal points. Let's call them F1 and F2. Before we learn how to do the ray diagrams, let's learn how to draw the lenses and what should we mark. Some basics. So all of you take a compass and measure approximately 4 centimeters, just like how we did in mirror. Draw a principal axis. Keep your compass on this principal axis and draw an arc, draw a curve. Okay? Now keep the needle this side and draw a curve this side. When you draw the curve, make sure that this, see, when you keep the needle this side, you keep it here, you should make sure the gap is not too much. That means, carefully understand what I'm saying. Pencil is here, needle is here, pencil is here, we drew the curve. Now you're bringing the needle this side, pencil is this side. First measure how big do you want it. Keep the pencil this much. Now draw. So you draw this and then erase this part. Okay? So this will give you the convex lens. Center, join these 2 points, these 2 edges, and mark this point as O. All distances are measured from optic center. From O, measure 3 centimeters this side. Mark F1. From F1, measure another 3 centimeters. Mark that as 2F1. From O, measure 3 centimeters this side, F2. From F2, measure another 3 centimeters, mark that as 2F2. Please understand, while drawing ray diagrams for lenses, we don't consider center of curvature. In the case of mirrors, we took pole, focus, center of curvature. Here, we will be taking optic center, focus, 2 times focus. R equals 2f holds good only for mirrors. It fails for lenses. So therefore we cannot mark this as C, because if you mark this as C, that means you're telling this is the radius, this is f. Is R equals 2f for lenses? No, it is only for mirrors. So we don't mark this C, we take 2f. R equals 2f does not hold good for lenses. Remember this. Now, how to draw a concave lens? Same type. First draw the principal axis. Draw the principal axis. Now, take your compass and keep it here. Draw a curve. Now, with the same radius 4 centimeters, come this side. When you keep the needle here, don't keep the pencil here. Keep the pencil this side of the curve. Draw. Join this approximately 2 to 3 lines above, 2 to 3 lines below. At the center, draw a dotted line. Mark this as O. From O, measure 3 centimeters, mark F1. From F1, measure 3 centimeters, mark 2F1. From O, measure 3 centimeters this side, mark F2. From F2, measure 3 centimeters and mark the side 2F2. So this is how you draw your lenses. I hope it's clear. I will directly draw it from now on and we'll be drawing all our cases. So now what are the different rays considered to draw your ray diagrams for spherical lenses? First, we already know that if there are parallel rays coming, they meet at focus. So the first ray we consider are, draw a convex lens quickly. Please use compass. I am doing it directly. O, F1, F2, sorry, F1, 2F1, F2, 2F2. So a ray coming parallel to the principal axis after refraction passes through the focus. In the case of concave, how will it look? Okay. It has to be dotted. Please be neat. F1, 2F1, F2, 2F2. So if a ray is coming parallel, it's a diverging lens. It won't converge, it will diverge. How? In such a way that if someone standing there, it will feel it's appearing to come from this focus. So this is how, this is the first kind of ray we take. Now moving on to the second ray, how do we get the second ray? Just like how we took this. What was this ray? I told you in the case of mirrors, if I have light here and I'm putting the light, it will go here. Now if I take the same torch bulb and I put it this side, can I say the light will come here? Yes, definitely. So light has the property to retrace. So because parallel passes through focus, can I say if a ray passes through focus, it comes out parallel? Definitely. So this brings us to our next type of ray considered, ray passing through focus. Draw a convex lens quickly. Mark your O, F1, 2F1, F2, 2F2. Ray is coming. The ray is incident through the focus. It will hit the dotted line. After the dotted line, it goes parallel. Next, take a concave lens. Mark the optic center. F1, 2F1, F2, 2F2. If a ray is passing through focus, can it pass? See, if it passes through focus, it's appearing to pass. In the previous case, we're using appearing. So here, it appears to pass through focus. After refraction at the dotted line, it goes out parallel. Please carefully draw this case. It appears to pass through focus and then comes out parallel. Why appear? Because in the previous case also, it was appear. Now moving on to the last case that we consider, 3 cases we will be using. Ray passing through optical center. Easy. Just it goes undeviated. I made you write a note. A ray passing through the optic center goes undeviated. This is easy. You can draw it however you want. You want to draw like this. So show one arrow before the lens, one arrow after the lens. Concave also same type. F1, 2F1, F2, 2F2. I have drawn it a little shabbily. Ray diagrams, we will draw it very neatly. This is not a good looking lens. Please use compass, otherwise your lens will look like mine. Okay. Now we can next start ray diagrams. Image formation in convex lenses. See, there we studied concave mirror first and we knew there were 6 cases. Here convex has 6 cases. See how the different cases possible are. 1, first at infinity. Keep the object at infinity. Next, object beyond 2f1. Object at 2f1. Object between 2f1 and f1. Object at f1. Object between O and f1 or optical center and f1. Ma'am, can you keep it between O and F2? Same thing will occur. What you keep between O and F1, same way O and F2 will work. Why? It's just this side. See, if I see this side, I can see clearly. See this side also, I can actually see clearly. So we will not go to study these cases. We will study only this because this is exactly the same of what is happening here. So let us study the first case, object at infinity. First, draw the convex lens. Please follow the dimensions and measurements I have given you, I have mentioned about in the previous section. Please draw the convex lens taking radius 4 centimeters. Mark the optic center. This should not be very fat. This should not be very fat. Mark F1, 2F1, F2, 2F2. Let us start. If the object is at infinity, infinity means the rays coming from the object are parallel. We have already studied that in the mirrors cases. So there are parallel rays coming. A ray coming parallel to the principal axis after refraction passes through the focus. So the meet here. Just like how in the case of mirrors, here also you have to talk about the image. What is the image position? P standing for position, you write the whole word. Position is at F2. Next, nature, it's really meeting. So it's real and inverted. Size, infinity, very big. It's becoming so small here. So size is highly diminished or point sized. Moving on to the third case, we'll now bring the object beyond 2f1. So next case, second case, object beyond 2f1. So draw the convex lens quickly. Mark your optic center, f1, 2f1, f2, 2f2. Object is beyond 2f1. I kept it somewhere here. Now, first you can take the parallel ray. A ray going parallel to the principal axis after refraction passes through the focus. Correct? Please put the arrows. One ray before the lens, one arrow before the lens, one arrow after the lens. Next, you can either take a ray passing through focus going parallel, or you can take a ray going through O. O is very easy, so I will be taking a ray going through O. A ray passing through O. So take your scale, join O and this point, this arrow, top head and O. You will see that it meets somewhere between F2 and 2F2. This will be your image. So if this is your object AB, this is your image A dash B dash. Fine. So now what is the position of the image? Between F2 and 2F2. Nature, real and inverted. It's really meeting. Size, draw it exactly according to dimensions. You will see this, measure it, this will be larger than this. This is smaller. So diminished. Is it very, very small? No. But it's small. So diminished. Moving on to the third case now. Let us now keep the object at 2f1. Very careful in this case. Many students find this case itself difficult. Object at 2f1. Your dimensions have to be very, very precise and correct for this case. Draw the convex lens. Mark O. F1, 2f1. F2, 2f2. Draw the object at 2f1. Ray going parallel to the principal axis after refraction passes through the focus. Ray going through the optic center goes undeviated. You can take that, or you can take ray going through f1. Optic center is easiest, you can try. But since in the previous case also I took optic center, just to show you, I will take this ray now. Now when it's going, you will find that a ray going through the focus after refraction goes parallel to the principal axis. If you see where the image is formed, you will find that the image is formed at 2f2. When object is at 2f1, image is at 2f2. There, when object was at C, image also was at C. Similar, you should try to find similarities to remember. So now, what can we say about the image position? I repeat, here you are free to take passing through O, no problem. I'll show it to you after this. What is the position? Position of image at 2f2. Write it clearly. At 2f2. Nature, real and inverted. Size, same size. Draw very carefully, otherwise you will not get same size. For those who are taken through optic center, your figure will look like this. Just like this, ditto. So you can take this ray and this ray, or this ray and this ray, or this ray and this ray. Choice is yours, because we need only two rays to show where the image is formed. Next case, object is between 2f1 and f1, or f1 and 2f1. So draw the convex lens with the dimensions we mentioned, that's 4 centimeters radius. Mark your optic center. From the optic center, measure f1, 2f1 at 3 centimeters and 6 centimeters away. Then you have f2, 2f2. Object is between 2f1 and f1. First take a ray going parallel to the principal axis. After refraction, passes through the focus. Next, a ray going through focus goes parallel to the principal axis, or you can take through optic center. Anything will do. Shall we take through optic center here? Yes. So you can see the ray is going undeviated. Where do they meet? They meet beyond 2f2. So write down image, position beyond 2f2. Nature, real and inverted. Size, enlarged. Is it highly enlarged? No, but it is enlarged. Next case we'll do at f1. Let's move to the third case. Object at f1. Draw convex lens. Mark the optic center. Mark f1, 2f1, f2, 2f2. Object is at f1. Ray going parallel to the principal axis after refraction passes through the focus. Ray going through the optic center goes undeviated. You will see these two lines are parallel. Parallel means what? They meet at infinity. They are going in the same direction, so they'll meet, but where they'll meet? They'll meet at infinity. So, image position at infinity. nature, they move in the same direction, they are inverted because this is here, real and inverted. Size, it's going to infinity, it has to be very large, highly enlarged. So now object between O and F1, draw the lens, mark your points, keep the object anywhere between O and F1. You'll see that if a ray is going parallel to the principal axis, after refraction, where does it go? It passes through the focus. A ray going through optic center goes undeviated. You can see they are moving away. The rays are moving away. So, if a person is standing here, he or she will feel the rays are coming from one single point. So, extend this backwards. You will find that the rays meet here. It is not really meeting, it's appearing to meet. So, the image will also be imaginary. Imaginary image means what? Virtual and erect. I hope you remember. That's all. So, just like how in concave lens, the concave mirror, the last case gave you a virtual image, here also we got a virtual image. Understand one thing, virtual image cases, images are formed on the same side of the lens, same side as the object. See, image and object are on same side. So, write down image, position. Should we say between F1 and 2F1? No, it can be anywhere here. So, you should just say image is formed on the same side as the object. So, write down position, same side as the object. Nature of this virtual and erect. Size, you can see it's enlarged. So now these were the 6 cases of the object. Let's see where the image is formed. When object is at infinity, image was formed at F2. When object was beyond 2F1, image was formed between F2 and 2F2. When object was at 2F1, image was formed at 2F2. When object is between 2F1 and F1, this is formed beyond 2F2. When object is at F, beyond over. Next is infinity. Next, case 6, infinity is over, after infinity nothing is there, go back. So, you get case 6 here. Infinity very large, image started with point size, slowly size increases. Observe, point sized, diminished, same size, enlarged, highly enlarged, enlarged. All of these real and inverted. This is the only case which is virtual and erect. This is the summary of the table given in your textbook in one single diagram. You don't have to by heart it, just understand it.